By the way, that is a lot of fake news back there. That's a
Computer hackers come and go. Cybercriminal masterminds like Evgeniy Mikhailovich Bogachev, however, are a dime a dozen. This Russian tech-wiz infiltrated the U.S. government in ways we didn't think were possible. With one of the most sophisticated Trojan horse programs ever created, Evgeniy caused over $100 million in financial damages. But that's not what made him so famous in the hacking community. No. It was his alleged involvement in the manipulated 2016 American presidential election. The FBI has been hunting this man for years. He's still on the run, but they're getting closer with every passing day. Cybercrime is projected to cost $6 trillion annually by 2021, double from the $3 trillion benchmark in 2015. As you can see, the scale of malicious activity across the internet is increasing at an astounding rate, and as technology becomes more advanced, so does the underground ring of hackers who use it to their advantage. Cybercrime may seem like a beast lurking in the shadows, but the reality is that it's right in front of our eyes, almost every single day. You know those dodgy emails from your bank or Apple or PayPal which request sensitive information? Well, 30% of phishing emails like those in the US are opened. Those who fall for the trap and click the dangerous link expose not only their personal computer, but their entire connected network, be it a government intranet, company server, or family cloud. Each country has their own means of defending against cunning internet thieves. In the USA, it's the FBI's job to keep black hat computer hackers at bay. Specially trained cyber squads are stationed at FBI headquarters in each of the 56 field offices dotted around the nation, tasked with putting a halt to computer intrusions. In 2019 alone, the FBI reported 467,352 digital scam complaints, 1,300 incidents per day. Some attack businesses, other attack banks or individuals, but sometimes it's the government with the target on its back. The political realm isn't off limits in the world of cybercrime. In 2017, French President Emmanuel Macron had his emails broken into. The content was posted online just days before he was due to go head-to-head with his political opponent. France isn't the only nation at war with digital hackers either. In 2016, in the midst of the American election, which centered around the eventual victor Donald Trump and lead opponent Hillary Clinton, one particular hacker, Evgeniy Bogachev, was the scapegoat hacker identified with affecting the results of the polls in a never-before-seen government manipulation. Before we dive headfirst into the series of events that led to ongoing 2016 election meddling, let's rewind. Who is this notorious hacker that the FBI so desperately seeks to catch? How did Bogachev's hacking journey play out, and where is he now? We don't know the answer to that last question, and perhaps we never will, because this computer whiz is still on the run. What we do know, however, is how he found himself in a position to need to be on the run in the first place. The first thing to realize is that Bogachev wasn't alone. Not then, and likely not now. He was part of a notorious Eastern European organized cybercrime gang known affectionately as the Business Club. While the moniker might suggest that they're no more threatening than a model UN group of high schoolers, the FBI quickly learned not to take them lightly. The Business Club stole $100 million from banks and businesses worldwide as they worked closely with phantom Chinese firms that sat near Russia's far eastern border. A core group of about 6 people led the operation, supported by a wider network of about 50 others. They mainly worked regular 9 to 5 hour Monday through Friday days and targeted banks based on their time zone: Australian and Asian banks in the morning, European banks in the afternoon, and US banks thereafter, all of which would be attacked just as the business day began at the respective country. Each Business Club member brought their very own cybercrime specialty to the table, be it tech support, third-party software suppliers, or those responsible for recruiting money mules. Becoming a member was relatively straightforward. Just fork over the initial membership fee and sign a profit-sharing agreement. Despite high-profile law enforcement warrants and multi-million-dollar rewards, little has been shared about the day-to-day operations of the Business Club apart from that. They're resourceful and stealthy, that's beyond doubt. Once the FBI caught on to the works of the Business Club and did some digging, James Craig, a rookie agent in the FBI's Omaha office, noticed a pattern. A number of companies and banks had been infected with the same malware, something called the Zeus Trojan horse. Zeus was a persistent and highly sophisticated malware, and it was well respected in the hacking community. Its creator, however, was a ghost for years. He was only known online under his aliases Slavic or Lucky12345, or a dozen other names that he picked and chose from. Slavic, just like the cybercrime sector, was relentless. Through relatively simple means like fake IRS emails or fraudulent UPS shipping notices that tricked recipients into downloading a file, Zeus would be downloaded onto the user's computer. Once Zeus had infiltrated your desktop, there was no going back. Using Zeus, hackers could remotely hijack websites, record usernames, passwords, and PIN numbers, not to mention manipulate the user's interface. Slavic regularly updated the Zeus code, constantly beta testing new features to improve its criminal potential and make it more difficult to crack. Through Zeus and the later version dubbed Jabber Zeus, Slavic coordinated a number of high-profile crimes. A $415,000 cyber heist from the war chest of Bullitt County, Kentucky went down in 2009. Payment processing giant First Data saw $450,000 vanish in May of the same year, right before their very eyes. And one single client was left reeling from a $100,000 theft from their infiltrated account at the First National Bank of Omaha. These combined to be merely a slice of the long list of shady transactions Zeus was actually able to facilitate. Although none of these crimes, nor the summation of them, come close to the widespread notoriety and influence of the intervention with the 2016 US presidential election. Yes, we've all heard the rumors, some true, some false, but what exactly went down? Well, here's what we know. The Hillary Clinton campaign was hacked. Politically damaging information was accessed unlawfully and then redistributed on the internet. State voter databases were probed, pro-Trump and anti-Clinton propaganda was circulated around on social media, and that's just the tip of this multi-layered cyber iceberg. According to the U.S. intelligence community and supported by special counsel Robert Mueller's evidence plus testimony from Trump associates, the overarching goal of the election meddling was, in simple terms, to damage the Clinton campaign and boost Trump's chances of victory. Despite certainty that Slavic, aka Bogachev, was one of the most prolific and damaging Russian hackers, the Obama administration and current U.S. government does not believe that Bogachev is the election ruse mastermind. Instead, the Obama administration included Bogachev in the sanctions that put pressure on the Russian government to overturn the real conspirators. Either way, regardless of the degree of his involvement, he still sits on the FBI's most wanted list for his ongoing Zeus-related thievery and his potential role in the election. Even though Slavic's name was popping up with red flags all over the place, he'd actually taken a step back from hacking years earlier. You see, he'd condensed his malware operation and turned it into a fully fledged, although still very illegal, business. In 2010, Slavic announced his retirement online and then released what security researchers called Zeus 2.1. The 2.1 version malware is protected by an encryption key, meaning that it couldn't be spread without his knowledge. Only one approved copy could be operated per person. So Slavic would sell copies with a price tag upwards of 10 grand each. At this point, he'd effectively become the supplier, with a number of Russian and Ukrainian hackers using it to their advantage. On the streets, the so-called money mules, the people who'd use fraudulent information to take out cash, operated in Romania, the Czech Republic, the United Kingdom, Ukraine, and Russia. While Zeus and Zeus 2.1 and the election hack and the bank robberies and all the rest of it were going down left, right, and center, the FBI needed to act quickly. In just 1 minute on the internet, $2.9 million is lost to cybercrime. And the longer the FBI waited before taking action, the more money would spin and disappear down the drain. Then came Operation Tovar. By the time the operation began, Zeus had already become the digital underground's malware of choice, the Microsoft Office of the digital crime world, so to speak. Tovar was spearheaded by the FBI in conjunction with Europol and the UK's National Crime Agency. But there was also a number of other cybersecurity agencies with all hands on deck helping out. Tovar was asked to take down Game Over Zeus, another offspring of Slavic's initial creation that had stolen over $100,000 from various targets. Meanwhile, rookie FBI agent James Craig had made progress. He uncovered a suspicious New York-based computer server, obtained a search warrant, and then extracted and examined the files. The hard drive contained, to his delight, tens of thousands of lines of instant message chat logs in Russian and Ukrainian. The entire roadmap of their operation that could bring Zeus, Slavic, the business club, and everyone else involved down. After thorough analysis had been carried out, the FBI believed they'd finally discovered their key suspect, one Evgeniy Mikhailovich Bogachev. In 2015, the United States Transnational Organized Crime Rewards Program announced a $3 million bounty for information leading to his arrest or conviction. Why such a high price? Because they already had been chasing him up to that point for 3 years, thanks to his role as the core architect of Zeus. A federal grand jury in the District of Nebraska indicted Bogachev on a number of charges back in August of 2012. Those charges included conspiracy to participate in racketeering activity, bank fraud, conspiracy to violate the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, conspiracy to violate the Identity Theft and Assumption Deterrence Act, and aggravated identity theft. In other words, a seriously long rap sheet. Further indictments came in 2014, including money laundering, and yet still, he was nowhere to be found. He remains on the FBI's 10 most wanted black hat hackers list to this day and is considered a flight risk. So where could he be hiding? Based on the FBI's public announcement, we can infer that he's still somewhere in Eastern Europe. Bogachev was last known to reside in Anapa, Russia. He's known to enjoy boating and may travel to locations along the Black Sea in his boat. He also owns property in Krasnodar, Russia. So if you're in the area anytime soon, keep an eye out for a 37-year-old brown-eyed, short, brown-haired, 5'9", weighing approximately 180-pound man. If you're the one to make the call, you could find yourself $3 million richer. Could he still be hacking? It's possible, under a different name perhaps, but we'll never know for sure. And what about the 2020 presidential election? Could he potentially interfere with its results, skewing Biden, Trump, Kanye, or any other candidate one way or the other? We'll have to wait and see, but one thing is for sure, the FBI is far more aware, with far more resources at their disposal to combat an outside involvement with all the polls than ever before. Do you predict any meddling in the 2020 election? Let us know in the comment section down below. Leave a thought. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thanks so much for checking out The Richest. See you next time. Have a great day.